She thought she hit the jackpot when she met a charming and wealthy man in one of Atlanta's hottest nightclubs. But one night of luxury turned into a lifetime of consequence. Join us as we dive into Dominica's story, whose life was forever changed by a man with a secret. I know we kind of spoke on, like, you know, we're talking about him as one example, but with the culture of being in the club, what is that culture like? 'Cause I know you even said the man said to you, like, loosen up, like the security guard or whichever, which typically I would think, if I saw someone was so uncomfortable on stage, I'm like, I don't think this is for you. I think that you should, you know, just because could change your life forever. Just, you know, this is like a different lane you go down. What is it like with, I guess, the males inside the club? Why are women so drawn to the men? I know you kind of briefly mentioned it with the money. But what else is it about that life? Because you guys are making your own money. Right. So like, what makes a lot of strippers, bottle girls, bartenders want those men as well?
I think it's just, we think that we can, I really think it's when women think that we can get something out of a man. Eventually we start to think of men as cash cows or bank machines or people that can provide for us, not like as human beings. And a lot of the men in the club are jerks. So we see it. They're not nice. And the guy that I met that gave me HIV, he was very nice to me and kind. And I was at the time. So I was like, oh, this is the nicest man that I've met up in the club that actually can provide for me, that actually comes to see me and cares about me and stuff like that. But the other men in the club, it's like, a lot of the girls in the club, we see the men as
just like bags.
ATMs.
That's it.
If this comes as a surprise to anybody watching this video, you need your head checked. Over time, many of these young women will begin to resent the very men that they work for, that they're designed to cater to as customers. And oftentimes this will bleed into their actual relationships or dealing with men, often stemming from the trauma that they've experienced from males, as she said, within her life. They begin to generalize, assuming all men are the same. And even though she's an S worker, you got to understand that this is not just something with S worker. If you have a fundamentally traumatic experience with a certain type of person and you don't get help from it, then you continue to be desensitized to certain behaviors. So treating a man like an ATM is just par for the course. And in that kind of environment is going to lead to some real poor life decisions. Harsh reminder, but I'm glad that she's speaking about it. Let's go.
That's it. It doesn't matter how they treat us or anything because I'm getting your money.
Yeah. Interesting. So I know you already mentioned that this man that you met, he gave you HIV.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit about how you guys got into a intimate relationship where that could have happened? So I know you only spoke on you guys just being in the club, but clearly, well, at least I would hope there wasn't any physical things happening in the club. How did you guys get to know each other to that level?
So I'm the type of person, when I get into a relationship, like you noticed at the beginning, me and my ex, we moved in very fast. Things move very fast in my relationships. That's why I'm taking a break. But with this guy that gave me HIV, things were moving very fast to where I was like, he's providing for me. He makes sure, he was a trick. That's what you can say. Okay. He was a trick. The tricks are the men that come in and take care of certain girls in the club or make sure they're good, whatever. He never got dances from me in the club when he was there, but I'd ask him to come in if it was a slow day, like, hey, can you come give me some extra money? Hey, this, that. And eventually it got to the point where we're hanging out outside the club so much. Like, he would pick me up from my parents' house. And that's why when a lot of people ask to see his face or ask to see it, ask his name, I'm like, what are you going to do with this information? Because he knew where my parents lived, type of stuff. But he was picking me up. We were hanging out all the time. He would rent out hotel rooms and stuff. I never once saw this man's house. This is a lesson to the ladies. If you ain't never seen this man's house, please stop it. Expedition, stop it. So never saw this man's house. But he would get out all these hotel rooms and everything, take care of me.
And how long was this going on before? How long were you guys dealing with each other?
Ooh, maybe 3 months.
Oh, okay. So it was okay.
Maybe 2-3 months or so.
If you're comfortable answering, how soon was it when you guys got intimate with each other?
It had to be maybe a month into us talking.
Okay.
Maybe about a month. Yeah, it was about a month into us talking.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just said, whatever, let's do it. Because I just felt so close because he's providing for me. Because he's this.
What were
like,
some things he was providing?
Just money.
Just giving you money? Like, what type of money are we talking?
At least $300 minimum anytime he came to see me. I asked him I'd say, it's slow in the club. Can you please come bring me some money just so I have a great day? At least 300. He would take me to other strip clubs just to hang out, like, you know, and I just thought it was so cool. Like,
yeah, it's like was this the first time you dealt with a man that would give you that kind of money?
Yes.
Okay.
Ever.
So you never met any other man in like the club that would do the same thing? No.
I mean, my ex, I met him in a regular dance club. Club Opera was like a dance club. Like, it was very chill. So meeting someone in a strip club
is a whole different experience.
Whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Whole different.
So
as I watch this, I can't help but think of Shannon Sharp. This is Shannon Sharp's situation in reverse. Shannon in that situation was the trick, but got his emotions involved. In this situation, she's referring to the guy as the trick, but he was just paying the cost to inevitably trick her. Women involved in this fast, crazy lifestyle. I don't know why you would think any man is there for you or taking you seriously, especially to the extent of introducing the man to your family. But again, that trauma. In her mind, men equals ATM. He's being my ATM. Therefore, I must mean a lot to him. This must be what a provider is, right? No, ma'am. He was giving you the illusion of security. Let's continue to watch.
Did you guys always use protection?
Never.
Never. Not the first time.
Never.
Jesus.
Never used protection. And did he know that he...
Good question. She's a great interviewer.
Diagnosed, I feel like he definitely knew, to be quite honest with you. Because there was a bunch of red flags I've already said, but there were so many things that I noticed, and a girl commented on my video and said the guy that gave her HIV actually had the same thing, but he had an alarm on his phone that went off every
medication
day. And I noticed this, and I was like, what is that alarm for? And he was like, oh, it's to take my supplements, because he was huge. Like, this man, he looked like Flo Rida. That's what all my friends say. He looked like Flo Rida. He was big, muscular, bold, everything, like all that. So I was like, what do you? And he just said supplements. So I just believed him. He's a personal trainer. He takes supplements at this time of the day. And then after I was diagnosed, I told one of the girls in the club, because I had stopped dealing with him. But he still it was almost like he was taunting me. Like, he would just come into dreams sometimes and just stand at the back bar.
After you found out?
After I found out.
Damn.
I don't know if you know, was he taunting you because he didn't want you to tell other people? Or just to be intimidating?
I think just to be intimidating, because I told people, and then he found out, he knew that I told people, because he had texted me after, and he was like, I know you told the people in the club. And when I told the people in the club, it was the house mom, and it was one other girl that was very like gothic, like we were both alternative, had a bunch of tattoos, and I thought I could confide in her. Never confide in strippers or anybody in a strip club.
Damn, she was green.
She went and told a bunch of people?
She went instantly. I told her maybe about 5 minutes later, I get called to the back by the house mom, and she's like, she told me that so-and-so gave you HIV. Is this true? Because I need to protect my girls if you talking to other girls out here.
It's a business.
And I looked at that house mom, and I was like, yeah, like, I confided in everybody in the club at that time. And I remember that house mom knew him.
Personally.
And she was like, I know him. He would never do so-and-so, like, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't have that. And I was like, okay. And so after I saw how they kind of reacted, it kind of just made me back away.
Well, you got no friends in there,
it
baby
blew
girl.
up into this whole thing to where I just stopped working at Dreams, and then that's when I found my other home club and started dancing in other clubs in Atlanta.
So you continued dancing after. And how do you think that was because you were trying to heal something within you?
Oh yeah, I hated men. After I was diagnosed, I was like, this man gave me HIV. I'm going to use every man that I can use to get their money, whatever I can get out of them. Like, I did not care about my life, my safety. Because at this point I had HIV, I was like, what else can happen to me? Like, you know, that's how I was thinking, and which is so messed up to think, think back on. But, you know, that's how I was feeling. So, that's what I was doing. I was trying to heal something within me that, of course, wasn't.
Yeah. So
if the man knew of his status and was just going raw daddy, actively infecting people, That's crazy. And in fact, people are coming out with charges for that action.
Live at 5, a Metro Atlanta man just charged with murder.
He is accused of intentionally spreading HIV to multiple people. Atlanta News First investigator Sierra Cummings joining us live at 5. So Sierra, you have been looking into this person for years.
For years now, since 2023, a Rockdale County jury just indicted Cleveland Brody, upgrading his charges to include malice murder and felony murder. Brody is accused of knowing his HIV status since 2006, but not telling his partners about it. We first told you about this case in 2023, but shortly after Brody's wife, Denise, died from having undiagnosed and untreated HIV for 5 years, according to her doctors. Denise's family took this case to Rockdale County Sheriff's Office. Prosecutors originally charged Brody with reckless conduct, and a single count carries only a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison if found guilty. But Denise's family wanted to see more significant charges. Now, a Rockdale County jury has officially indicted Brody on malice murder, felony murder, and 3 counts of reckless conduct, HIV-infected person. Those 3 counts of reckless conduct include Denise Brody's case, plus 2 other women who came forward after our investigation. Cleveland Brody previously pled not guilty to reckless conduct, but has not yet entered a plea for these new charges.
But back to her comments, and now while I sympathize with her with, being angry over the situation, what I hope that she does not mean is that she was also actively having raw sex with men in an attempt to get back at all men for what she went through. Just because one man did you wrong doesn't mean that you should be going out there infecting others. But it's wild how seemingly green that she was before getting involved in such a tumultuous industry. She was trusting tricks. She was trusting the den mothers. And that trust got her a serious sexually transmitted disease forever. Let's see if there's any more.
After discovering the news, what was that feeling like in that moment? If you can take us there to feel how you felt, which I know we won't be able to fully, but.
So when I was diagnosed, it was so we had the intimate reaction in April.
Okay.
It was in April. And I had an acute case. A lot of people with HIV do have an acute case. I didn't know this until so.
Oh, and can you kind of explain what acute case means for her?
An acute case of HIV is pretty much when your symptoms show up within the 2 to 3 months of transmission. A lot of people have no symptoms. You hear about that and it transfers to AIDS.
Yeah.
But I had symptoms almost immediately. So within the 2 months, it was about June. April, May, June. That was exactly 2 months.
Wow.
In June, I started to have a fever. My entire bed was drenched in sweat. I'm talking, I was sweating out my arm pores, my mattress pad, everything. And so the first night it happened, I was like, that's weird. I mean, I sweat in my sleep, but that's weird.
Yeah.
The second night it happened, I was sweating through the sheets. And then I remember my mom made me dinner. And usually we eat in our rooms, it's nothing new. But we had a staircase that was pretty steep. And I was walking up the stairs and I couldn't make it up the stairs.
Because you were so fatigued.
I was so fatigued out of nowhere. It just seemed like all these symptoms just came out one after another. And I remember I literally sat in the middle of the staircase with my plate and I just set my plate down. And I called my mom and sister and I was like, Mom, I can't move. And so my mom came and was like, what is going on? I'm taking you to the ER. She took me to one ER. They tested me for everything, flu, strep, whatever. They didn't even test for STDs there. My mom was like, they just pushed you to the side. All they gave me was ibuprofen to lower my fever. She was like, I'm taking you to another hospital. I go to another hospital. They do all the tests and everything like that. And at the hospital, they didn't do the HIV test. But they did do STD testing. And they said, I suggest you see an infectious disease doctor. And that's when I made an appointment with an infectious disease doctor. And they kept telling me, watch your fever, of course. I can't control that. But then I made that appointment. And when I made that appointment, my entire family was with me. Because I kind of just already knew. But also my sister, in the midst of me going back and forth in the hospital, my sister, who's a nurse, she calls me out of nowhere. And she goes, when was the last time you were tested for HIV? Just out of nowhere.
And you said you kind of knew
Sister
too.
knows what she does.
I had a feeling that there was just something off. And when she said that, my
going
heart
raw daddy
sank.
with all these dudes.
Like, it was like my stomach was like, it was just, I was like, I think that's what it is. And when she said that, it just confirmed what the doctors were suggesting I do. And then when she called me, it was in between of that. And I was like, jeez Louise. So that's when I went to the infectious disease doctor. My whole family was there. My dad stayed in the waiting room. My mom and sister were in the room with me. And the doctor came back after the blood results, and he said, you have a false positive. He said, I don't want you to freak out right now. Okay. But you have a false positive, which means, like, there are some antibodies, but we're not sure if it's like a fully positive. We have to wait another month. Mind you, my birthday's in July. So I was really like,
oh my gosh,
my birthday's coming. I just need to know. So, yeah, I had to wait until beginning of July to go back.
What was that month like? Was it like a thought every day?
It was a blur. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I really don't remember.
Guys, I'm going to stop the content right here. I'm going to leave a link down below for you guys to see the entire thing. I mean, it goes on for at least another hour. But shout out to the interviewer here. I think she actually did a really good job of asking questions that made a lot of sense so we can understand a little bit more about this situation. I did want to take a look at the comment section just to see what people are saying. Now, it looks like the young lady that was interviewed is actually in here. Thank you so much again for interviewing me and allowing me to share my story to raise awareness and reduce the stigma. Regardless of any negative feedback, I know the benefit of sharing my testimony to other young women and men to save others from contracting this. Many blessings and much love. Let's click on that YouTube channel. Yeah, she's called the Sacral Healer. Seems as if she stopped whatever she was doing previously to do a lot of that Mother Earth goddess. Damn, look at that chest tattoo, baby. But yeah, it looks like her content is her speaking from the perspective of someone that has HIV positive reacting to Bonnie Blue. That was the young lady with the 1,000 bodies in like a day or some shit like that. Anyway, back to the comments. I've decided 3 years ago to be celibate is the best decision for my life. It is so peaceful. If I was single and living in Atlanta, I would never sleep with any of these men. I would remain single. Newsflash, man. Both men and women are spreading this shit. But all right, if you say so. It actually reminds me of a news story. I think this was like 2 weeks ago or so, but Tamar Braxton, who's like 50 plus years old, talks about that she takes HIV PrEP to date in Atlanta, which is just so crazy that people are arming. Like, it's good to have protection, but why are you doing it unprotected? I guess people just can't trust people's actions nowadays. Crazy story. But, you know, if you listen to describe her home life, still living at home, scripting, you never heard of a father, a man within her life. You didn't hear of any brothers or anything like that. And it's just sad, but unsurprising to hear that fast girls with fast lives receiving fast diagnosis. All right, guys, write me your comments down below. What is it that you think about her particular story? Also, again, go review their content. I'll leave a link to it down in the description box down below. Last but not least, join my men's self-development community. Link to it down in the description box down below. We have a discussion coming up in regards to wealth building, I think a Friday from now. So guys, join right now. We do bi-weekly discussions up there. Everything self-development with a specific focus on building wealth. If that's your focus going into 2025, then it's the perfect community for you. Click up, beam up, and I will see you guys soon. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.
You is ratchet as they come, rainbow weaves and batwing lashes, weighing more than a man. What time is your football practice? I bet you can hit that A gift like a mug. How you big back and said a man must buy you gifts. Where here goes a Fitbit tracker.